It is about 5 minutes past 11 o'clock at night on Tuesday morning. Approximately half an hour ago, as I was dozing off to sleep, I received a notification alert on my phone from this brother that's been a loyal subscriber and follower of mine for a couple of years now, and he asked me something to the extent of, "Brian, have you seen the video of Devyn Holmes being shot in the head by this black female? I think you should do a video about it." Now, I had limited myself to doing a video a day, and I actually had another video in mind for today that clearly is going to get wiped off the map of priorities for at least the next several days. Because shortly after this brother emailed me this, I went and, I get requests from people, like any semi-popular or popular YouTuber. I get links and requests in my inbox and my email all the time, "Hey Brian, check this out. Hey Brian, check that out." But when I clicked on it and I saw it, the first time I saw it, I thought it was a prank, because everything happened so fast, and it wasn't like, what you see in the movies. It was graphic, very graphic, but it wasn't like what you see in the movies. And then I kind of had to roll it back again and watch it. I must have watched that video 10 times before the realization of what I was fucking watching finally dawned on me. I watched the human life of a black male being taken by a Hoodrat piece of fat ghetto trash. A Hoodrat piece of fat ghetto trash. And mind you, I'm being about as civil as anybody can be on a platform that is not black male friendly, known as YouTube. A Hoodrat piece of ghetto black trash that is of the same group of females who has recently been berating and trolling and bothering and aggravating black men about why don't we build? Why don't we build anything for them? Why don't we build anything for the black community? And then it's not lost on me as I watch this video for the last time, and I'm just sitting there silently, almost at the stroke of midnight, watching this man's blood and brains leak out of his head as the whore who shot him ignorant simp-ass nigger that told him, ain't no clip, ain't no bullets, ain't no clip in that gun she holding, cuz. Run out of the car and leave this black brother sitting here with his brains leaking out of his head and his life slipping away from him. They didn't even try to check on him, stop the bleeding, call 911. They open the car doors and run out. And then, right after the thought of the brute irony, I mean, you just can't get over the irony of the fact that I just got done releasing 2 videos of why the black American female, besides being complete fucking trash, is of no use and is actually a detriment to the black male, the modern day black female, to the modern day black male, and is living proof of why black men have absolutely nothing to build with. Right after I thought about that, right after I internalized that, and bear with me because I immediately, once I watched that video for the 10th time, I immediately shared this link with the only 2 brothers that I watch with frequency on YouTube, which are David Carroll and Akwesi. And I'm sure in the coming days, we're going to hear from them and several other content creators in the so-called black sector of YouTube about this. It just started trending a few hours ago, and it's going to be like wildfire all over social media tomorrow. Immediately after I had that thought about the brute irony of these females that are coming seeking the attention of black men like me, who are teaching and warning black males based on my experiences with these ratchet, raggedy, ghetto, trashy, disrespectful, disingenuous, degenerate femtards. Here comes a video out of Houston, Texas, of a black man being killed, live on FaceTime. And keep in mind now, this is not the first time that a black man, that a black male has been seen being gunned down in cold blood on this Facebook Live thing that they have. This is actually the 4th or 5th time. 2 of the times it was in Chicago. 1 time I think it was in South or North Carolina. And then there was a time when that Hoodrat chick in Minnesota, she filmed her boyfriend Philando Castile after he got lit up by that Asian cop that got off. And now this. And the other thing that dawned on me is the only people we see getting murdered. Oh yeah, there was that time when that black simp, he murdered that old black man. And where was that? Cleveland? That was last year, right? Early last year. And then he went on the run and they found him the next day in Pennsylvania. It dawned on me that the only people that are getting murdered in cold blood, and I understand that many people are getting murdered. People get murdered every day of all races and ethnic backgrounds, cultures, and creeds. But black males are being felled by violence, by white police officers, by other black males, even by hood rat trash. So much, statistically, and with frequency, that we are the only ones since Lee Harvey Oswald that are getting caught live on some type of stream, unintentionally streaming, while we are in the process of getting ready to be and then finally getting murdered. And these females want to tell us to come and build something. Again, I ask the question. Build with fucking what and who? The other thing that really got to me when I internalized this, because it was three-pronged. When I got done watching this 10 times, and it sunk in what I was actually seeing. Because they say that the man is on life support. But I can tell you right now, there was a friend of my mother, who they went to the same church, that was on life support. He had pneumonia about 2-3 weeks ago. And my mother and sister, they were talking about, he's, pray for him and just keep him in your prayers. He ain't dead yet. He's on life support, and I know such and such that was on life support and they came back. I told him, when a person is on life support is specifically designed to keep your organs running because you're brain dead. Okay? Which means that life support is really just there for your family members to come and say their goodbyes, and make the funeral arrangements. Life support has never yet been known to bring anybody back to life. Because the body works like a machine, it can be operated as a machine outside of your brain and whatever else causes, helps the function of the body to, operate. The other thing that dawned on me was Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. And I know I have to be kind of careful with what I say here on YouTube. But here we are with the news media making a circus out of this Stephon Clark case, the same way they did with Freddie Gray, Michael Brown, all these other cases where in the rare occasional cases where unarmed black men are getting gunned down by police. And they blow it up and make a big circus show out of it. And then months later, when the cops go to trial, or when the prosecutor decides to drop charges, we find out what really happened is that these guys had a criminal record, a rap sheet almost as long as they've been alive, and they were resisting or fighting with the cops, or they had a weapon on them, or something led up to them getting gunned down by the police. The cop didn't just walk up to them and at point blank range point a fucking loaded 9mm Glock pistol at their fucking head and pull the goddamn trigger like this Hoodrat expletive did. I'm gonna wake up my neighbors. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just depressing to know the status of the modern day black male. You want to tell me about the white police officer? Anybody who comes in the comment thread of this video that tries to make any argument in defense of Black Lives Matter or these accusations of police brutality on this video is going to get instantly blocked and deleted. I'm not even going to waste time cussing you out. Because as I have said time and time and time again, The black male's biggest enemy, besides what he sees when he looks in the mirror, is the black American female and the hood that spawned her and the niggas that are murdering him in these streets day in and day fucking out. You want to tell me about a white cop in a uniform? You want to tell me about Ku Klux Klan lynchings from Jim Crow? Look at that fucking video. That type of shit, that's what's so disturbing about this shit. This time it got caught on camera. This time it got caught on video. But that shit happens to us black males every single fucking day. And 99% of the time, the person behind the trigger is a person that looks just like this hoe. But I bet there will be no Black Lives Matter rallies in Houston, Texas. I bet there will be no Al Sharpton. I bet there will be no Jesse Jackson or CNN. You have black men here on YouTube fighting and quarreling with one another and seeking the attention of black men. I actually have video evidence that I'm going to share with you guys in a few days of this black male that has been stalking me, and I'm barely even known on YouTube, has been stalking me for the past couple of years now, to the point where he even made a video, and you can hear the mental illness in his voice. You have black males on here arguing and fighting and quarreling with one another. And that wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the realization that the reason why most of them are doing it is to impress these black whores who don't give a fuck about them. Now, they call this an accidental shooting. That's what the news is saying. They're calling this an accidental shooting. Some people are saying, and I'm kind of thinking that the whole thing was a setup to actually kill Devyn Holmes and make it look like an accident. That's what they're saying, because she picked up that gun and she pointed it right at him. And while the news, the bullshit ass news, tried to make it seem like he knew the people in the car, you could tell, because he said, "You making me nervous," and he told the woman that she picked up the gun, that "You making me a little nervous." Did I just call her a woman? Well, I'm trying to be careful and politically correct here on YouTube, but it's hard. He clearly said that she was making him nervous, and he asked her where she was from. He was like, "Where you from again?" Like he didn't know her at all. So I'm inclined to think that he may not have known, at least her at the very least, in that car that well. And the Negro behind him almost seemed like a setup kid, because he was trying to assure him she ain't even got no clip in the gun. Either not knowing, not caring, or knowing what was about to happen. And then as soon as this dude gets shot and his blood and brains are leaking out the side of his fucking head, both of these niggas go running out the damn car and leave him there without trying to stop the bleeding, without calling 911, without calling his mother, without doing anything, without driving him to the fucking hospital. Nothing. They leave him there to die. And I'm supposed to believe that's an accidental shooting. But these are the queens that you simp-ass Negroes are trying to impress on social media. These are the queens that you're calling black men like me, David Carroll, and yes, even Tommy Sotomayor, coons for calling them who and what they are. This is what y'all are fighting for. Black males are out here dying every day at the hand of other hood degenerates, just like this hoe. And as long as it's not a white police officer putting a bullet in his black ass, nobody gives a fuck. Unless it's caught on live video. Then you might hear a little something about it. But that's just because of the shock effect. What happened to Devyn Holmes is happening every fucking day in every major city in America. You want to tell me about the white police officer shooting unarmed black people? Are you fucking serious? This man was unarmed. He had nothing. He was in the car with two Negroes that he trusted. And one of them picked up a gun, pointed it at him, even after he asked her to stop, and put a bullet in his head, and then ran out the car and left him there. And while obviously that video is too graphic for me to put up here, even though some people have put it up on YouTube, I'm sure it won't be hard for anybody to find it that wants to see it. It's all over Instagram. I almost wish I could get away with screenshotting the moment that he was in that car making those graphic death throw sounds while blood was coming out of the side of his head. And he was left in there alone, by himself, by the two niggas that set him up to get shot. And did shoot him. Because that symbolizes where the black American male is in this fucked up country and society that doesn't give a fuck about him. We are completely alone. And any Negro who thinks that the modern day black American female is on his side is a fucking idiot. Talk to you later, guys.